A few months ago, I bought this Shima ukulele, and from the moment I took it out of the box, I was really stoked to do this kind of comparison. One of my really good friends, an opera singer, loaned me solid koa Hawaiian-made KoAloha Soprano to do a side-by-side comparison. The first few times I played them one after the other, it was really hard to describe the difference. So in the last 2 months, I've had different visitors coming to our house where I played them back to back and let them try to describe the difference. But what really matters most is, what do you think? So, let's go. And in this corner, before the sound battle begins, check out the reference standard for beauty and sound, the KoAloha Soprano ukulele. And in this corner, the challenger, the Jake Shimabukuro designed Shima ukulele, made of solid mahogany, weighing in at just about 1 pound. The first surprising thing out of the box for the Shima actually was how beautiful the wood is. Look at this grain, and look how light it is. This is not at all what I expected for a mahogany ukulele. You can compare to the koa wood, and sure, this is a glossier finish. There's a little bit more reddish hues, but they're actually pretty comparable. You can see that the mahogany from the kala is not bad, but it's darker and has less grain and definition compared to the Shima. When I first read about Jake and Bruce Shimabukuro's venture, with Jake's design actually trying to emulate the wider and longer neck that's on a kamaka tenor, I became, for the first time, excited about owning a soprano, because I'd played some of my friends' sopranos in the past, or I should say tried to play, because it was really difficult for my large fingers to navigate that small fretboard. Another important feature to consider is not just how wide the neck is, but how thick it is. So this is the tenor kala that I showed you before, and you can see the wood on the neck is thinner compared to the KoAloha, again also. And that's where most of this additional 30% of the weight goes on this Shima ukulele. It's in that neck. And I think for most of us, that's going to be a lot more comfortable to have. The sound battle will be recorded on this blue USB microphone to try to capture all the nuance and minor variations between the two ooks.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Thing to know about the Shima is Jake and Bruce are advertising a tenor style neck. I believe that only counts the number of frets in terms of what is like a tenor. As you can both see from this picture and my daughter's concert size ukulele, the length of the fretboard is pretty much the same as a concert ukulele. So you have fret spacing like a concert, but as many frets as a tenor. I think that Another big difference in these two is the tuning. So you'll notice that you have friction tuners here on the KoAloha. And those are, by all ways to describe it, more difficult. You have a much smaller level of error that you can have to get it right in tune as compared to these geared tuners. What I like about this, I could step away from the ukulele for 3 weeks and come back to it after all the temperature variation, and it's still in tune. You step away from this for a couple of days, you're still going to have to retune it, and you're going to have a little bit tougher time with those friction tuners. So what did you think about the difference in sound between these two? As I mentioned earlier, it was hard for me to come up with words to describe it, but some of my friends who listened to the difference came up with a term for this Shima as being very well balanced, something that sounded like it had a flat equalizer on it. It was very clean sounding. And one of my friends compared it to wine and said it was like a crisp, citrusy Chardonnay. So I don't know if that helps you, but some of the nuance here is just as difficult to describe as in wines. Whereas descriptions of this included, it sounds almost as if you've hit a chorus button on an effect processor. So coming straight out of the ukulele, you pluck a note and it doesn't just play, it sings. So how do you value a singing ukulele? Now the downside was a few people thought that when you played chords and strummed a lot, this sounded a little bit more muddled or muddy. To my mind, here's the score. And it's okay if you have a different impression in your mind when you're doing strumming, and particularly fast strumming, or this Shima ukulele is going to be a little more even-tempered. It's certainly more playable. On the other hand, this solid koa wood, KoAloha, if you're playing something maybe a little more melodic, individual strings picking, they sing. And how do you do that? Is it the koa wood? I don't know. Is it their musubi-shaped hole? Maybe. So there's some magic here, but it's also a little bit fussy. It's harder to tune. It comes out of tune easily. It's lighter, so it feels a little less sturdy, and its neck is not quite as thick. So I don't think it's as playable, both from the neck thickness as well as the fret spacing compared to the Shima. But depending on your style of playing, maybe this is worth it. And I'm not down on KoAloha at all. In fact, Jason Aramoto, who I've been to a couple of his workshops, plays this tenor slimline KoAloha. If I won the lottery tomorrow, I would probably buy that ukulele. But most of us haven't won the lottery, and you have to take some practical things into consideration. Jake Shimabukuro designed ukulele, even if it were twice the price, is probably a better value. So there you have it. Hope this has been helpful. Keep on strumming. And of course, there's one more factor in the difference of sound here. The Shima ukulele comes with a custom D'Addario string set. Out of the box, and they sound great. The KoAloha, I went to their website. I could not tell what their out-of-the-box strings were, but whatever they're using this is not Aquila strings. These are really nice strings, so I think that has a huge effect on sound as well.